back and spark, pencils down in 3, 2, 1. Eyes on me. We can do that better. Go back to reading. We're back and spark in 3, 2, 1. As I was reading through these strategies, I thought about the title of the book. I thought about the lesson that Libby learned, and I realized that the author actually named the book after a phrase that she wrote into the story. Who told Libby that she needs to tell the honest to goodness truth at the right time in the right way? All voices. Her mother. Her mother. She gave her that long speech about telling the truth in the right way. So I know that the main character, Libby, said the honest to goodness truth at the end of the story. It is related to the theme because that's what we took away when we read the story. Go down to the next box, fingers on the next row. I also got to think about another title for this story. Read through my answer, underline the other title that I chose. Ninja 1, Ninja 2, Ninja 3. I used the big idea to give the story another title of my choosing. Of course, I can't go back and actually change the title, but that's the title that I think would fit the story. Find it in my response and underline it down. What title did Miss Salmi choose for this story based on the big idea? Only underline my title. Only underline my title. You have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pencils are down, eyes on me. What was Miss Salmi's title, Ariana? What title did I choose for this story? Freddie, what title did Miss Salmi choose for the story?
You choose Libby.
I chose.
You chose Libby learns a lesson about telling the truth.
In my response, you can see that I chose the lesson, Libby learns a lesson about telling the truth. What title did I choose, Ariana? Back and spark. Juan, I got to rename the book. I got to rename Alex the chapter, the book, based on what I know about the big idea of the story. We're going to get a chance to do that together. Go to your story, open up to chapter 1. Fingers up. Back and spark. Ariana, all together, fingers up. Fingers are not touched. Marcos.
My mom is doing every day and Alex tell us every single day he said goes to the fire and chin and he burns it with dust and the
Alex.
He sat close to the fire, his chin in his hand. It was dusk, and the dog lay beside him on the warm hearthstones. Every single day, I told him for the 20th time this month, for the 100th time this year, and the past 2 years.
And did Papa sing too? Yes, Papa sang too. Don't get so close, Caleb, you'll heat up. He pushed his chair back. It made a hollow scraping sound on the hearthstones, and the dog stirred. Lottie, small and black, wagged her tail and lifted her head. Nick slept on. I turned the bread dough over and over on the marble slab on the kitchen table. Kenny with expression.
Oh, Papa doesn't sing anymore, said Caleb very softly. A log broke apart and crackled in the fireplace. He looked up at me. What did I look like when I was born? You didn't have any clothes on, I told him. I know that, he said. You look like this. I held the bread dough up in a round pale ball. I had hair, said Caleb seriously.
Not enough to talk about, I said. And she named me Caleb, he went on, filling in the old familiar story. I would have named you Troublesome, I said, making Caleb smile. And Mama handed me to you in the yellow blanket and said, he waited for me to finish the story and said, I sighed, and Mama said, isn't he beautiful? And I was Caleb finished. Caleb thought the story was over and I didn't. Tell him what I had really thought. He was homely and big, and he had a terrible collar and a horrid smell. But these were not the worst of him. Mama died the next morning. That was the worst thing about Caleb. Us? What did Anna really think about Caleb when he was born? And why? Ready? Turn. We can do that better. Turn back. Ninja turn. Back. All together. Turn. Top. What did Anna really think about Caleb when he was born?
I think that Anna thought that he was ugly because in the text I know that it says that isn't he beautiful, Anna? And the mom saying to Anna that if she is gonna say, no, he's ugly. He didn't have any
Waterfall, waterfall. What does Anna tell us she really thought about Caleb when he was born? No hints. Who's going to be the most polite?
I think that Anna thought that he was ugly because in the text I know that it doesn't relate to my answer, but it helps me find the answer to my question because it says that isn't he beautiful, Anna? And then Anna's gonna say like no.
Did she say that?
Yeah.
Look in your text. Can you point us to the page? What page are we on? Are you reading from?
Page 5.
Page 5. Everyone go to page 5. Kenny's pulling out evidence. I want to know, does Anna tell her mother that Caleb is ugly? Does she say that? Find it in the page. Kenny, read it to us.
He was homely and plain, and he had a terrible collar and a horrid smell.
Does she say that to Mom? What? How do you know that, David? Does Anna tell her mom that Caleb is homely and plain? How do you know that, Marcos? Look in your text. I'm looking at the end of page 4. I'm going to closely read this piece of text, Ariana. I didn't tell him what I had really thought. He was homely and plain and had a terrible collar and a horrid smell. What she had really what?
Thought.
What she had really
Thought.
Around this text, I do not see quotation marks. I do not see that Anna actually said it. She thought it. She
Thought it.
This is a thought. Let's keep reading. Isn't he beautiful, Anna? Her last words to me. I had gone to bed thinking how wretched he looked, and I forgot to say goodnight. I wiped my hands on my apron and went to the window. Outside, the prairie reached out and touched the places where the sky came down. Though winter was nearly over, there were patches of snow and ice everywhere, your fingers tracking in the taps. I looked at the long dirt road that crawled across the plains, remembering the morning that Mama had died, cool and sunny. They had come for her in a wagon and taken her away to be buried. And then the cousins and aunts and uncles had come and tried to fill up the house. But they couldn't. Slowly, one by one, they left, and then the days seemed long and dark like winter days, even though it wasn't winter, and Papa didn't sing. You're out.
He's beautiful, Anna. No, it was hard to think of Caleb as beautiful. It took 3 whole days for me to love him, sitting in the chair by the fire, Papa washing up the supper dishes. Caleb's tiny hand brushing my cheek, and a smile. It was a smile. Can you remember her songs? Asked Caleb. Mama's songs? It turned from the window, only that she sang about flowers and birds, sometimes about the moon that was. Caleb reached down and touched Marty's head. Maybe, he said, his voice held. Yeah. Do you remember the songs? And I remember them too. My eyes winded wide and the tears came. Then he opened the door and went in with Papa. And I went to stir the stew. Papa put his arms around me and put his nose on my cheek and my hair. Nice soapy smell of stew, he said. And I laughed. That's my hair.
Caleb came over and threw his arms around Papa's neck and hung down as Papa swung him back and forth, and the dog sat up. Colt in town, said Papa, and Jack was feisty. Jack was Papa's horse that he'd raised from a colt. Rascal, murmured Papa, smiling, because no matter what Jack did, Papa loved him. I spooned up the stew and lighted the oil lamp, and we ate with the dogs crowding under the table, hoping for spills or chaos. Papa might not have told us about Sarah that night if Caleb hadn't asked him the question. After the dishes were cleared and washed and Papa was filling his tin pail with ashes, Caleb spoke up. It wasn't a question, really. You don't sing anymore, he said it harshly. Not because he meant to, but because he had been thinking of it for so long. Why? He asked more gently. Slowly, Papa straightened up. There was a long silence. Penny.
And the dogs looked up, wondering at it. I've forgotten the old song, said Papa quietly. He sat down, but maybe there's a way to remember them. He looked up at us. How? Asked Caleb.
Papa leaned back in the chair and placed an advertisement in the newspapers for help. You mean a housekeeper? I asked, surprised. Caleb and I looked at each other and burst out laughing, remembered Tilly, our old housekeeper. She was round and slow and shuffling, eerily.
She snored in a high whistle at night, like a teapot, and let the fire go out. No, said Papa steadily. Not a housekeeper, a wife. Caleb stared at Papa. A wife? He knew mother. Dick slid his face into Papa's lap, and Papa stroked his ears. That's two, said Papa. Like Maggie.
Pause. What is Papa putting an advertisement into the newspaper for? Turn. Turn back. You can do that better. Turn your hands. Turn. Turn back. All together. Turn.